Paul Jackson is a renowned American artist known for his unique and vivid paintings using watercolors. He's been featured as one of the master painters of the world in The Artist magazine. His artwork has graced the cover 4 times. Paul's work has been featured in American Artist, Watercolor Magazine, Watercolor Magic, Forbes, the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal, among others. Paul travels the world shooting drone footage to add a unique perspective and inspiration for his paintings. Much of his portfolio hangs in private collections, museums, and public buildings. His colorful style has gained fans and praise worldwide.
The people that collect my paintings, they're generally people with an affluent lifestyle, but paintings to them are special because they're original. Their clothes, their cars, their house are all copies of something. Everything in your life is basically a copy of something else, but paintings are one of a kind. They're a moment in time that's captured on paper. They're an experience that I had that I get to share. And the one-of-a-kind painting is one of those captured moments. I can only do so many, and people treat them as treasures. I found Tonka and heard there was a castle ruins up on the hilltop there near the Lake of the Ozarks. It was foggy and we had some really good atmosphere, but it was absolutely the perfect day to fly that particular park. When we were done, I backed off the castle a little bit and started shooting some still shots. And one still shot in particular caught sort of the color of the castle in the morning sunlight in just the most incredible way. I posted that photo on Facebook, and apparently Tonka has a lot of fans. The photo got shared over and over and over again, 16,000 times just the first time around. And so much commentary on it. It's just sort of a mysterious image of this castle ruins in the blue shadows and orange light of morning, and just a neat ethereal image. I put a lot of images of my artwork up on Facebook and never got the same response as I did from that one photograph. So I thought maybe I should work on that and sort of develop it as a watercolor. The castle at Tonka State Park was started by a businessman named Robert McClure Snyder in 1905, but he was killed in an auto accident in 1906, and it was later finished by his sons. It burned in 1942, I believe, and it was purchased in 1978 by the Missouri State Parks so that it would be open to the public. And it's an amazing state park. I'm not surprised that they left the castle ruins because they're a really super interesting place to explore. Watercolor doesn't really look exactly finished to me unless I put at least 2 layers on the paper. I tend to do even more than that, probably 10 to maybe 100 layers sometimes, depending upon the piece. I'm trying to create this luminosity in the paper with light bouncing sort of through the very thin veils of color. It's unique. You have to build watercolor from light to dark. It's unlike other painting mediums where you work with a tone canvas and you add the white highlights at the end. With watercolor, the paper is the equivalent of the brightest light of the sun. We actually shade it down for everything that we paint. The highlights you have to consider first and then paint everything else around them. Watercolor is the only medium that has sort of soul built in. It has a life of its own. When you put the paint and a little bit of water on the paper, it comes alive and sort of does its own thing. It fascinated me from the very beginning, and although I've worked in every other media possible, I come back to watercolor constantly. I have a love for it that is unending. Most of my work takes 3 weeks to 3 months. It really depends on the complexity of the subject. It's really hard to put art on a deadline or figure out exactly the timing of it, but I can sort of guess now after 30 years of painting that I've got about a month in this project. I paint whatever fascinates me today. Whatever fascinates me this week, that's what I'm working on.